Where did you get your BMW?
That's when I drove back. Yeah, I got my BMW. I wrote away and said I want BMW. I wrote to Munich, and they said they would export one, but they deliver it.
This is before 1979. This is before 1979.
Oh yeah, it was in the 60s.
What, when you were in Iraq?
Yeah, it was about 1966. And when it arrived, I had to fly out to Beirut, pick up the car, and have it cleaned because it's covered in sort of Vaseline, like goo all over the seat. When it was cleaned up, I just waited for an opportune moment to get out. As I say, I rang the meteorological office and they gave me bum information. They should have told me that, all right, it was no snow, but there was fog, which is just as bad, going up a hairpin bend over a mountain. Because in a line of traffic, I couldn't turn around and go back, otherwise I would have done. You can't stop. I was scared. It was, you know. And then, of course, when I got out of the traffic, just sort of goes away, and then you find suddenly, when you're in the desert, you find yourself all on your own.
So how did you choose your car? What made you decide? Did you have a catalogue or?
I don't know what.
Choose your BMW, your car. How did you decide what car to get? You said.
Oh well, somebody already got one out there, and
in Iraq.
yeah, and they were not known in England, BMW then. They made motorcycles, you see. And this was their venture into saloon cars, their early one. This was a 2-litre. It was a nice car, but it had a lot of things wrong with it. And it gave me big trouble. But I eventually drove it back to England, and Mum remembers it. I kept it for a while, and then I sold it in England.
So how did you drive it back? Where from?
On the road.
From where?
I went from Baghdad into Persia and up through Persia and then into eastern Anatolia, Turkey. I drove all the way through Anatolia, Turkey, you know, right through the mountains, right the way to Ankara, and then up to Istanbul, and then from Istanbul through Bulgaria, and then from there to Yugoslavia, and drove through, from the border of Bulgaria up to the border of Yugoslavia and Austria. It was one day long drive. It was 500 miles. It was a tough drive, that. Well, not a tough drive, it was just a long one. And I went to Vienna where I had a girlfriend and had a good time there. Then I went to Munich. I went to the works to have my BMW fixed. And then I went to Bad Godesberg where I knew somebody else and stayed there for a while. Bad Godesberg on the Rhine. And then I chose Friday the 13th to drive from Bad Godesberg through Belgium to Ostend, where they had a funny aeroplane. You could put 4 cars on it through the front nose. It had doors in the front of it, you could drive into it. And the chap said to me, "You're lucky." He said, "You just one place." 'Cause I had no pre-booking. He said, "It's Friday the 13th. I said, "Yes, I know it's Friday the 13th. I said, "That's why I did it." I said, "I'm not superstitious." And apparently he said it always, sometimes they don't have anybody who can come on Friday the 13th. Superstition. And I found myself in Lid, which is near Yvette. And I drove home. It was a short drive, and about 20 miles, and I was back home. So all in one day from Bad Godesberg, I was back home. I honked on my horn when I got back. My father came running to the door. "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm home." And they had a little chicken. They were just about to sit down and eat at supper. It was all stopped and gave me drinks, and we stayed up half the night talking. And I couldn't sleep. Yeah, it was nice.
So you drove the car from Iraq. Your job had finished in Iraq in the late 60s. So you drove your BMW all the way back to England.
Yes. It took about, well, I took it easy. I stayed in Istanbul. I stayed in Ankara for a while. Then I went to I stayed in Istanbul. I stayed in Vienna for a few days. And I stayed in Munich when I had the car fixed. You know, various things I wanted to have done. And then I stayed in Bad Godesberg with these friends. And then I was home. So it was, I suppose it was about a week's driving and about another week stopping over. Week, 10 days stopping over, a fortnight I suppose. In all, because I stopped a few days in Vienna, you see.
Mm.
That girl was called Marianne. She was Austrian.
Like your girlfriend.
Kunitz or something. Kunitz, Marianne.
Like your girlfriend.
Yes.
How long did you go out with her for? Oh.
You don't get
Anyone looking to the washing up?
Must be a sausage roll, is it? What do you suppose it is, Mum? Is it a sausage roll? Are you recording this for posterity?
What? Well, I want you to... I'm going to write it down.
Useful activities.
I'm going to write it down. No?
What?
Just go over the cities you stayed in during your trip.
Well, first of all, Hamadan in Persia in the mountains. Hamadan. Hamadan. It's a mountain town with a lot of funny people in. Tall fellas with long legs. I can't remember the next one. The border town. It is a known. It's on the map, you know. But the name escapes me. That was in Persia. Well, on the border of Persia. Then the next one was Erzurum. E-R-Z, I don't know, it was E-R-U-M. Then Ankara, A-N-K-A-R-A. Then Istanbul. I went through Sofia. I didn't stay in Sofia because there were no hotels, or at least there were no hotels that would have me. Very nice, Moose. And then I can't remember the name of the border town in Yugoslavia, Austria border that I can't remember what it was called. Little town. It was nice, very nice there. And then Vienna. And then Munich. M-U-N-I-C-H. Exciting. Then bad, B-A-D, 2 words, Godesberg, G-O-D-E-S-B-E-R-G, I suppose, is it?
No,
B-U-R-G.
EU. Although I don't know. Maybe E. We'd have to look it up.
And then Belgium.
And then what?
Belgium.
Yeah, through Belgium to Ostend. I didn't stay in Ostend. Well, I caught a plane, crossed the Lyd, L-Y-D-E, and then home by a ride.
And how did you get your car out to Botswana? Or
Eh?
did you sell it in England, or did you take your car out to Botswana afterwards?
Oh no, I sold a car in England.
Oh,
I kept it
yeah.
for a while, where I met the Moose. She remembers it, with white BMW, remember?
I remember it very well.
And then I sold it because we were abroad all the time, having babies and things, so much point in keeping them.
And what model of BMW was it?
I think it was they just called it a BMW 2000. It didn't have a name or anything, just a BMW 2000. CCs, cubic centimetres.
What year?
1966.
And what colour was it?
White. It was ordered silver. I finished up with a white one because they hadn't got a silver one. Bastards. Fancy.
Did they tell you beforehand?
It was supposed to be, I made all arrangements, didn't I, to go and get it. And they wired and said that it couldn't be I think what they did was they sold it to somebody else and sent me another one. It said it was white or nothing. And to reply by return, if it were to get on the boat. Now there must have been something. And then they sent the wrong keys. The spare key was not the key for the car. All that. No, well, boy, did I have my money's worth when I went back through Munich, went to the work. I told him the whole lot, the sad story of the